The Whitetail Brief is back in session with the man, Phil Mellinger. It's been a while. You were on, what, episode number 2? 3? Something like that? 4?
I think it was 4.
Somewhere in the beginning. So just a brief, quick snippet on Phil. Phil is a newish hunter. He is about to kill his first deer this year. It's been 4 years, right?
Yeah. Let's say 5th license year. So
you might be asking, why am I having somebody on the podcast who hasn't killed a deer yet? But there's something that you can take from this, because
I kill birds.
You kill birds, yes. But this isn't a knock on Phil. This is actually a boost here. Phil has had opportunities, has had encounters, has had some really incredible bucks in front of him on public land in the first, in fact, 2 years of archery hunting. And that's kind of unheard of. So I'm not going to say, in a sense, you haven't sealed the deal, but you have won the chess match, right? For me, that's like, if you put a buck, I mean, you've had some bucks in front of you that you missed, or really good encounters with bucks. And we're going to do 2 things here. We're going to focus on the opener for the statewide season, not really special regs. So your season opens October 4th in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. So we're going to focus on that. And then secondly, we are going to look at what you can do as a new hunter, or even a seasoned hunter who hasn't been as consistent as they would like to be, to kind of accelerate the learning curve, because you're somebody that's picked up on this really fast and has put things in front of you. So first and foremost, thanks for coming on, dude. Last minute, I was kind of excited that you were able to do it. I had somebody else cancel on me this morning, so kind of nice to have a buddy that could fill in for one of these episodes.
I'm happy to be your second choice.
It's well, you know what? I never look at buddies as a backup option for a second choice. It's like they're my go-tos and my reliable ones that I keep in my back pocket for when this happens, because I know I could just count on you. So how's that? Man. How's that for a second choice? So what are the things that you're doing? We'll talk about accelerating kind of a little bit later, but what are the things that you're prepping for season opener? What has been your summer plans first? And then secondly, what kind of things are you going to be focused on for that first week of the archery season?
So right off the bat, I'm looking at my past issues, what I've struggled with, what I've not realized is an issue, and past failures can set you up for, potential future success. So what I'm looking at here is how to learn from what I've dealt with in the past. And for me, I think it literally just comes down to actually practicing shooting from an elevated position. This summer, I moved, so I have property now where I can shoot out to probably 60 yards, and there's a big tree that I can climb and shoot down from. So that's going to help a lot with the angle and certain things like dealing with gear, dealing with tree limbs in the way, sight lines, things like that. So real practice is incredibly crucial. The first 3-4 years, I would go to a range and I would shoot straight, standing on the ground, shooting straight ahead. And you get the motion down and all that. But when you get up into a tree and you're actually looking over a hill or some other kind of ground or whatever, everything is different. And let me run through each opportunity I had. The first one was 34 yards, pretty much straight ahead of me. And I actually hit that deer on the rear hip, and I just didn't recover it.
Uh-huh.
So what I did on that was I actually punched my trigger into my cheek a little bit and caused it to move a little to the right.
Uh-huh.
So learning that, I was like, okay, I got to adjust for that. Subsequently, I actually switched to a thumb release. So it's a lot better, and I don't have this motion where I I don't punch it into my cheek.
Uh-huh.
So I thought I fixed that. The next year, I had a deer come pretty much right under my saddle,
Uh-huh.
straight at me, didn't see me, just came right at me. I saw it maybe 50 yards away, and it just came on a straight line right to me. And I
That
got
was
him to
that
stop.
that was
What's
that
that?
really wide 9-pointer, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that
Yeah.
one came right in, actually lower than my tree was tall because the land, I was on kind of a steep hill,
Mhm.
and it went downhill from me and straight down. And when he stopped, I'm like, meh, meh, trying to get him to stop. And it was almost a vertical shot. And in that instant, I kind of forgot how to line my pins in that 1 second, because it's like you have 1 or 2 seconds to make a decision. I was like, oh man, I wasn't anticipating this at all, and I shot straight under his leg, and he didn't even move. And then I'm trying to like knock an arrow in this whole thing, and he just like drifts down into the woods. And you're like, did this really just happen? Did I really just shoot my arrow straight under his leg? Um, so that was the second one. And then the third one, I called in and I saw him from about 50 yards away in some pines and call him over, and he just instantly turns and just ran through my spot. I drew and I couldn't really get a pin set on him, and I really couldn't stop him. He paused for like a split second, but just blew through the whole thing.
Just enough for
So I
you to take a shot.
didn't really have enough time to actually, yeah, shoot. So each one of those things is kind of like a different situation where I need to learn like how to handle the situation a little bit, or you know, what they do when you call them in or something. So, you know, learning the time of year, when it's in the middle of the rut, when we're early season, when we're, late season, however they're going to act, it's kind of like I have to be more aware of the deer's characteristic on how he's going to act to me.
Yeah.
Um, and then also too, like the raw practice of physically shooting on different angles. One thing that I like realized is I probably aim a little bit too low, like aiming for that heart spot.
Yeah.
And I realized like when I'm 15 feet in the air and that like angle is coming in across the torso, like I have to aim significantly higher so it actually goes through that and not, laterally into it. And that's one of the things that I discovered like the second year. I was like, oh duh, like you can't just shoot at a straight target.
Mhm.
You're like actually shooting across the torso.
I
So
vaguely remember your epiphany when I told you that, and you're like, "Oh."
yeah, those things happen, dude. It's just like you get that light bulb moment, and you're like, eh, yeah, because I didn't think about that at all.
Well, I think that those are some valid things for people, even people that need to be reminded. Maybe they're new to mobile hunting or whatever, but shooting from an elevated position is so important, not only from a saddle. Like we talk about the saddle a lot because everybody is worried about that weak side shot and how to make it happen from that shot. Like, how do I got to put my feet? Do I need squirrel steps or whatever it happens to be out of a saddle? Yeah, you need to learn your weak side shot, but it's it's not rocket science to shoot a deer out of a tree stand either. Like you still have to
Hmm.
turn around, you still have to make those things happen. And it shooting from an elevated position with different angles is not the same as shooting from the ground. And if you don't have, even drawing your bow from an elevated position is weird at first,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Um, so
Yeah,
those
whether
are,
your knees are bent, whether you're bracing off the tree, whether you're like leaning against your ropes or just standing on a platform,
yeah,
all is different.
yeah, very key things that you have to remember. So as far as getting deer in front of yourself, first of all, what things are you looking for in the woods? Let's start there. You yourself to fit into your strategy.
I mean, are we talking early season? Are we talking rut? What are we thinking
In
here?
general, if you go into the woods, Are you looking like, what kind of food source are you looking at? What kind of terrain are you looking at? Are you looking at vegetation that's kind of like monoculture, or what kind of gets you ticking when you think, hey, this might be a good place to hang a camera? Because you're getting really good pictures of these deer, but you're also getting them in range in bow season. So how are you doing that?
Hmm. Um, a lot of times when I'm scouting, I like to find, just a game trail and follow it around and see if I can find, um, more sign. I like finding trails that will converge. There'll be like several points, several offshoots. And then it's just like looking for where the ground is loose.
Mm-hmm.
Things are not necessarily like, scraped up a whole bunch, but like maybe there's some like just some wear. And you just see like stuff is just continuously going over the same places.
Mm-hmm.
And um, you know, you find buck rubs and stuff, and you're like, oh, great, look at this spot. But sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Like I've sat right on this buck rub before, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be right here today, and it just doesn't show up, and you're like, what the heck? So, um, you know, food, acorns. I have a couple of spots that are acorn rich that I'm really excited to sit on. Water in like very dry areas where there might be like
Mm-hmm.
a pond not too far off, or like some sort of like stream of some kind, or a crossing where you can see like fresh tracks or something like that. With my cameras, I like to pretty much nail down like patterns, times a day, things like that. Like if there's something that keeps coming around at like 5:37,
Yeah.
every day or something, then it's like, okay, we have something that's familiar. But being new, like I mean, there's also like a dumb luck aspect too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like my first deer I shot at was just completely dumb luck. It just came running off a hill. It probably got kicked up by another hunter, and I happened to be on a trail that there was some foliage that was grazed down, and I could tell that something had been eating it up. I didn't really have a lot of information behind it. I just found a nice tree, went up it, and a deer happened to run by. Um, Other times I'm sitting on like, a fork in the of a trail, or, one spot where it's like I know there's a bed over here and there's a field on the other side, and I know they're going to be crossing through between that. Um, but then, like a lot of different things come into play, whether or not like the tree I'm sitting in is actually even a decent tree to sit in, whether it's like a telephone pole that where I'm
Mm-hmm.
super exposed,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's too tight of a window where I get up in the tree and it's like I don't really have a shot except for one little pocket.
Yeah.
So there's a significant portion that I still have to learn with a lot of stuff where it's like, um, finding the area, finding different things, and sometimes I've had deer just come from behind me when I think there's no way they're coming from behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one that ran down, he ran off a relatively stony, uh, you know, steep hill. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, how is this thing coming from here?
Yeah.
So, um, it kind of depends on the location, the time of year, and all that. And just kind of like a feel. It's like a
Yeah.
spider sense kind of thing. You get out there and you're like, oh, I think right here will be, good because I have these, three criteria.
Well, and that's pretty valid. I mean, I had a conversation with Jake Hofer not too long ago about gut feelings, and it's a real thing in the whitetail woods. I mean, it comes from walking around the woods a lot, but it doesn't take a long time to develop a gut feeling. I mean, you need to see a couple deer and understand what they're doing to start developing it. It starts developing right away. It gets really good
Hmm.
with experience. But what are the top three things that you think have accelerated your learning curve in the whitetail woods?
One, just pure zeal for wanting to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, I'm excited to do it. I never wear out. I never wake up and go, oh, you know what, I'm going to stay in. Just the raw sense of adventure
Mm-hmm.
is just my driving force. It's like, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be awesome. I don't care if it's raining. Like, I don't care how cold it is. Like, let's go. Um, that's definitely number one. Like, it is not. It's truly a labor of love. Like, it's one of the hardest things I do, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like I do not mind doing it. I don't care how far we're going. Are we going 2 miles? Are we going 3, 4, or 5? Are we going 100 yards?
Yeah.
Don't care. Um, the next, um, hmm, I would say, having somebody to bounce your information off of, um, definitely helps with something because, like, you know, 1, 2, 3 times a season, nothing might happen, and then something you might get like a clue or see something far away, or something's not working out correctly, and you just need to like bounce information off somebody,
Mm-hmm.
or like formulate a plan, like, oh, maybe I should have done this when I did that. Um, knowledgeable people or experienced people who can say like, oh, try this, or this thing or whatever. That definitely helps. I mean, no one's ever pointed to a tree and been like, go hunt that tree.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had that, and I don't hunt any private land at all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
100% of my hunting is public land. Um, so it's all been just like just going and discovering stuff for myself,
Yep.
which is all just like it's literally just my excitement for hunting and my like I just don't care if I fail. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if I have like a boring experience or like something, because it's like I know it's gonna come in the future,
Yeah.
and it's like you're just that steady like anticipation is what's like really exciting. It's like a slow burn because it's like,
Yep.
oh, it's gonna happen at some point. It's like I just have to put the time in,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, and then, like, I guess three, man, getting to use all of the equipment you spent a ton of money on.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's like some like let's see, like a new platform or something. I got
Mm-hmm.
14 size feet.
Yeah.
So like I got this huge platform thing. I think you actually have the same one. I don't know if it's the same size. But like fitting my size 14 boots on it is great. And I
Yeah.
can like
I got the little
swing
one.
around the tree a lot. You got the
I'd rather
being
not
able to
use one.
like,
Just put
yeah, I
my
mean,
feet
if you
on the
could.
tree.
But like being able to like, play with your new toys in the woods. You get like new arrows or something and shooting them, or you get like even as something as silly as like maybe like it's a new raincoat or something, and you're just like, oh, I hope it rains today so I can see if this is actually worth the $200 I spent.
Yeah.
Um, it's any kind of those things. Like, I kind of trick myself into having a good time with things, just because it's like it's just it's just fun. I just have a passion to do it,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that
So
makes sense. And it's like kind of a motivator, uh, especially for people that are kind of new to hunting, is like, yeah, that is something that keeps you in the woods. And the more experience you get in the woods, instead of your gear being your motivation, it ends up being what you're hunting. But that
mhm.
is an initial thing, like, hey, this stuff's kind of cool. So, use it. But
Yeah, and it's like it doesn't depend on you actually seeing deer.
yeah.
It's like even when it's a boring day in the woods for 6 or 8 or 12 hours, it's like you still want to come back the next day. It's like, yeah, yeah, I do.
Well, we are at 20 minutes already, but we have talked about the basics of kind of like an early season mindset of a new hunter. And these are very fundamental things, and they are accurate. We talked about accelerating your learning curve in the whitetail woods, and we talked a little bit about gear and your setup for the beginning of the season or preseason. Dude, thanks for coming on. We're going to do this
Yeah,
again
man.
throughout the season, and I hope next time it's after you punch a tag. 'Cause
Hell yeah, dude.
that'll just be a story.
It'll just be a whole story.
Cool. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime.